Recently, you may have seen the news that, oh my god, Drake is suing Kendrick over Not Like Us! And everyone's reactions have been, oh my god, no way, he's such a sore loser! When in actuality, Drake isn't actually suing Kendrick. He's still a sore loser, but it's way deeper than what the headlines lead on. Firstly, Drake is not suing Kendrick. He's suing Universal Music Group, aka his and Kendrick's record label.
They're under the same record label?
Yeah, bet you didn't see that one coming. Well, technically, yes and no. Kendrick and Drake aren't necessarily signed to the same label, but both of their labels are owned by UMG. Kendrick being signed to Interscope and Drake being signed to Republic. Secondly, this isn't even a lawsuit. It's a petition to try to convince the courts to look into the situation that Drake is alleging. So you're probably wondering what Drake is alleging. And to that, I tell you to be patient. We're getting to that. Basically, Drake believes that UMG had ulterior motives throughout the beef with Kendrick and claims that UMG prioritized pushing Kendrick way more than they did him. Now, why would UMG do such a thing? Well, conveniently, at the same time that the beef was going down, Drake was in negotiations with UMG to essentially either bargain for a bunch of money or acquire his masters. I mean, Drake is one of the best-selling rappers of all time. Since 2016, this man has made UMG millions of dollars. So naturally, as Drake the brand gets bigger, he's gonna want to request a lot of money. Drake is in high demand, so he's gonna bargain for more goods and services from the label, aka a shitload of money. And this exact situation was actually exposed by Kanye on his Like That remix all the way back in April.
Where's Lucien? Serve your master, nigga. Caught a little bag for your masters, didn't you?
But I don't blame anyone for not catching that, especially after that nigga went,
Yo, Dot, I got you.
and shit out one of the worst diss tracks of all time. But what Drake is claiming here, listen up, is that UMG artificially boosted Kendrick's streams throughout the beef to make Drake's demand go down. So that when they're back in that meeting room and Drake is like, give me 500 million, the label can go, nuh-uh, nobody bumps your shit anymore. Kendrick got you wiped down, which in turn allows the label to make a bunch of money. But this is all conspiracy on Drake's end. Drake does not have enough substantial evidence for a lawsuit. So the purpose of this petition is to motivate the courts to investigate his claim. UMG would actually swiftly respond to Drake's petition, basically saying, nigga, why the fuck would we undermine our own artist? We make money from you. Go sue Kendrick if it's that much of a problem. Which ironically, he actually did months ago. But it wasn't exactly a lawsuit. See, back in March when Like That dropped and the Kendrick and Drake beef was first heating up,
Metro's booming
would actually post a tweet basically confirming that Drake sent a cease and desist over the bars that Kendrick spit on Like That.
Try cease and desist on a Like That record? Oh, what, you ain't like that record?
Drake would later respond to this claim in his song Family Matters, saying,
A cease and desist is for hoes. Can't listen to lies that come out of your mouth.
which is a line on so many layers of irony. It's like day by day, more and more lines from that song age like milk, which is also what Drake claims about Not Like Us. He's not just upset about Kendrick allegedly having botted streams, he's also upset with UMG for even allowing a song where he gets called a P-word to go out. So he said, if the courts give me more evidence, I'm suing y'all for defamation. Which is pretty ironic once you start to remember that Drake claimed in the Heart Part 6 that he fed Kendrick's camp the info he used in Meet the Grams and Not Like Us.
We plotted for a week and then we fed you the information. This Epstein angle was the shit I expected.
So how the hell are you gonna sue for defamation when you yourself claim to have made up the exact lies you're complaining to UMG about? And I don't think he realizes this, but for him pushing to find evidence of Kendrick botting streams, he may actually be putting himself into a deeper hole. Cause one, it's not like if the label actually finds botted streams, people are just gonna magically start liking Drake again. And secondly, what if the label actually fucks around and finds information about Drake actually botting his stream? Wouldn't be surprised about that one. But it gets even worse. Drake has gotten so desperate to prove that Kendrick is a fraud that he's also trying to bring a rap YouTube channel by the name of NFR Podcast into the whole petition, where he basically claims that UMG paid them off to promote Not Like Us without disclosing payment, which is absolutely insane. And as the news of this petition broke, of course this spawned a couple of conspiracy theories, so I'm gonna run through some real quick, starting from pretty tame to absolutely fucking insane. I'm not even kidding. The tamest theory is that this petition slash lawsuit isn't gonna do shit. Why is that? Because it's kind of an open secret that artists kind of already bought their streams. When a record label is in good standing with a streaming service, it's actually a pretty common practice for a record label to tell that streaming service to push their artists out more. Whether it be putting them on every single mainstream playlist, promoting them on the homepage, whatever they need to do to get that artist in front of as many eyes as possible. And most artists who are under a record label allegedly end up falling into it. But it's not like that's the artist's choice, that's just how the labels make their money. But him proving these accusations to be true could finally expose the inner workings of how labels allegedly bought their streams. But he may end up fucking himself over in the end. I don't know, did this nigga forget that he used to be the poster boy for Spotify? Actually, do you remember 100 gigs? You know, the whole plot twist Instagram account, the hundreds of files from over the years that were leaked into a website featuring 3 songs that eventually dropped on streaming services? Yeah, the next theory claims that the 100 gigs project was actually a sign of rebellion from Drake against the label. It's also a pretty common practice for when an artist isn't given enough support from their label to leak their own songs onto platforms like SoundCloud or YouTube, sometimes under different aliases. The artist unfortunately doesn't end up making any money from this stunt, but leaking their own songs allows them to stay in the conversation and hopefully get the attention of their label again. Stay with me, alright? This goes all the way back to the negotiations with UMG. If they won't give him the money that he's looking for his catalog, then he may make attempts to try to get out of that contract and possibly go independent, with 100 gigs possibly being an example of that. But you want to know one of the craziest fucking theories I've heard going around? You know, there was an artist who actually went through something very parallel to what's happening to Drake right now, and his name was Michael Jackson. I don't think I need to explain who the fuck the king of pop is and how big he was at his peak, but in the same way that MJ's demand was through the roof in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, he's gonna require a higher supply. And what better supply can an artist have more than the rights to their master? To explain, when you sign to a record deal, it is very common for the record label to just straight up own your music. That means every stream a song gets, a bunch of hands touch that pile of money before you may ever even see it. And that's actually the reason why a lot of your favorite artists are actually broke. But that's not the point, right? Pay attention. In 1985, Michael Jackson dropped $47.5 million to buy a publishing catalog that included 250 Beatles songs. Then, in 1995, Sony bought half of those publishing rights for more than 2 times the original amount Jackson bought it for. Jackson was a very savvy businessman. Michael and Sony would later merge into Sony/ATV, which allowed both the Jackson estate and Sony to have ownerships of the masters to artists such as Bob Dylan, Elvis Presley, and even Eminem. All fine and dandy, right? Well, not quite. Coincidentally, just 8 years after buying out the Beatles, he would be hit with his first allegation in August of 1993. This would begin one of the most shameful public character assassination the world would ever see. People would watch as the media and the industry tried to extort this man for everything that he was worth. And people would start to put the pieces together and theorize that the reason this happened was because Michael was becoming too powerful. So what people are claiming now is that Drake is going through the same thing MJ went through. They're extorting him.
He's pulling his cock out.
Drake is trying to get his masters. Remember when Michael tried to get his masters? They always put the P-word allegations to niggas that get too powerful to take him down, which I personally find that comparison to be absolutely fucking stupid, because with Michael there was no definitive proof. When the police raided Neverland in 1993 and in 2003, there was literally nothing illegal found, and in June of 2005 he'd be acquitted of all charges. On top of that, most of the victims who came out would later be outed as liars.
The kid who accused Mike Jack says, "I'm tired of the cap." He goes on the stand and says, "Mike Jack gave me these magazines that I shouldn't be viewing. It's the August edition of Playboy. He weird." Everybody looks at the kid. They go, "You said you was in the crib in May." He go, "I said that."
And if you'd like more information about that whole case, Zavi made a great video talking about the situation. The moment that he started to take control of his own music and other catalogs, they started labeling him one of the worst things that a human being could ever be labeled, in an attempt to take the demand away from his name.
How is Michael Jackson still labeled a predator? Well, it was the media. They basically said, what sounds better? Mike Jack a weirdo, or this family tries to scam him? Let's go with Mike Jack a weirdo.
Drake, on the other hand, is in an entirely different boat, because there's actually proof of Drake being a creep. What about Drake, age
31,
having an uncomfortably close relationship with Millie Bobby Brown, then
13.
Or what about in 2013, when Kylie Jenner was 16 and Drake was 27? He'd be posted kissing her on the cheek, along with mentioning in a song how Sierra Canyon parking lot reminded him of a strip club parking lot. Sierra Canyon is Kylie's old high school. Or how about that infamous clip of Drake hugging on a 17-year-old on stage when he was 24?
How old are you? I can't go to jail yet, man. Well, listen, 17. I had fun. I like the way your breasts feel against my chest.
Brother,
Or how about all the lyrics he's written that have aged absolutely horrible? I even fucked a girl I used to babysit. We could have waited. I wasn't rushing. Difference in ages. You're old enough, but you're still a baby. You got a baby Benz. You got some bad friends. High school pictures. You was even bad then. He was like 30 when he made that fucking song. And niggas want to cry over a 2-year age gap when we got niggas like Tyga still walking around. All that to say that this is nothing like Michael Jackson. I don't care if he's tied with Michael for the most number ones. These are not the same cases. This picture perfectly describes what Drake is. But this is a developing story, so anything can really happen at this point. And I want to give a shout out to our recent channel members: Riskglow, Kaz, OK Mez, Jolyn, Intelligent, Icy Loser, Cosmo Universe, Big Man Rib, Nick Fox, Cy Jacko, Stinky Bean, Tina, RC Likes to Exist, Birds, and Jesus Cool Kids XDYT. Your support means everything. And if any of you are interested in supporting the channel further, you can click the join button next to my name and become a member today.
I just made the whole connection. Fuck out of here with that shit.